This episode of the podcast is sponsored by David Shapiro Remax Around Atlanta Realty. David Shapiro Remax Around Atlanta Realty, best realtor in the game. He knows all that peach state right there on Tash's shirt. You take a look, the whole state. The guy knows every inch of every single bit of real estate in the state of Georgia. He's incredible. He literally has it all memorized in his head. Every street, every single address. He knows every zip code. David Shapiro, Remax Around Atlanta Realty. I mean, I don't know how much more knowledgeable you can get, honestly. He's the smartest person in the state of Georgia when it comes to real estate. Tash, who the hell do we have on tonight?
We got two brothers, Brandon and Shane Graham from the band Dream Phases out of Los Angeles. They're a psychedelic trio. Third guy couldn't make it tonight, but either way, we had a good time.
Yeah, awesome conversation with them. Let's roll the motherfucking tape.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Indiebnb. Tonight we're joined by Brandon and Shane from the band Dream Phases out of Los Angeles, California. What's going on, guys?
How are you?
Thanks for having us today.
We are pumped to have y'all on. As we were talking before we started, our friends in Livermore, threw out y'all's name, and so we were pumped to finally get y'all on.
Thank you. Yeah, those are good friends of ours. The two main people just got engaged too, so congrats to them.
Congrats to Livermore.
Oh, let's go.
Alex.
Well, one of the things I always like to start with is, how did y'all get started as Dream Phases?
Yeah, so we had a band previously called Nacosta that Shane and I were in, and we also, another one of our members, Kaveen, who's not here today, but he was in that band as well. And actually how we met Livermore originally. But we basically had that band, and just after a long time it ended, like a lot of bands do for various reasons. And I initially started Dream Phases just as like a kind of a bedroom solo project thing, where I was just planning to not even really play live, but just put out recordings of solo stuff and have different friends play. And that's how it basically initially started. But within a couple months of like having Shane play and Kaveen play, it was pretty clear we wanted to do a band. So started that way, and then it's just evolved over the last couple of years that we've been together, where everybody else are writing and contributing ideas and songs now as well, and it's kind of developed from a solo thing into like a full band.
Okay. And what is Dream Phases? What's in a name there?
Yeah, so that was just the idea that initially with the project, it was going to be a constantly evolving and different thing. So it's sort of just an analogy both for that, going through phases with that, but then also just going through life, where basically, sort of the dreams and ambitions that we have for ourselves and we kind of map out are constantly going through phases and changing. So it's just a reference sort of to evolution, I guess, of our lives and what we're doing.
Yeah, one of the things I was going to ask you, I guess I'll go ahead and skip ahead because I think it plays right into that, is, y'all have just released a new album, New Distractions. How do you see how does that kind of differ from y'all's previous two albums, Mr. Midnight and So Long Yesterday?
Shane can answer this too, but just to use it as like a juxtaposition, Mr. Midnight was sort of like a compilation. It's like on our Spotify and stuff as like a regular album, which I guess it is in a way, but really that's the example of that was like all these different solo recordings that I was working on, and it's supposed to be kind of more of a compilation to hold over while we release the next stuff, but you can kind of see it like that. And then So Long Yesterday was sort of like the first full band album that we were all working on together. And then New Distractions was, even further, where like Shane co-wrote a song, Kaveen wrote a song. We were just passing everything back and forth. It just become more and more of a collaboration over time. And then also, if Shane, you want to talk about, you mixed it,
Oh yeah, this was the first album of ours that I mixed, which is cool to have a hands-on approach with your music, because you always kind of hear it in your head the way you want it to. But working with a lot of different people, sometimes you don't have like the same influences as you. So it was cool to really kind of be so hands on with this one and really tweak things the way that I kind of hear the music.
Yeah, and how does what goes into from the writing process into the recording process for y'all?
Well, this latest record was interesting because obviously through the pandemic and everything, this was just kind of like, for the most part, a piecemeal project where it's like Brandon would send over a demo and I'd record some drums in my place, and then we'd send it to our other guy, Kaveen, and he'd record his parts. And then so that was about like 85% of the record. And then there's 3 songs that we recorded live together. So really on this record, there's maybe 1 song that we had played together before in the rehearsal room before recording all these. And that's kind of unusual from the way we've done it in the past. Before we would get in the rehearsal room and hash out all the songs. But it was kind of nice surprise doing it this way because, kind of less restrictions. Everyone kind of just came up with parts that they thought fit the music, and it kind of ended up, pushing the boundaries a little bit. It's pretty cool, I'd say.
That kind of show you that y'all all kind of, what's the way, y'all kind of mold together, like y'all sound, whether it might be different, y'all have different influences, but y'all are, at the end of the day, y'all are able to push it all together and make a good sound.
Yeah, there's a lot of the same core influences and stuff, and yeah, the different ones is what makes it interesting. Everybody bringing a little bit of their own flavor into the mix.
And you mentioned some of your who are some of y'all's influences?
Want to go ahead, Brent?
Yeah, I mean, we share a lot of like the classic ones. I mean, Shane and I definitely grew up on a lot of classic rock from our dad, who is a guitar player as well, and so we grew up on the Zeppelin and the Who and the Beatles and all that kind of stuff. So that's probably for me at least, I'm still very influenced by a lot of like the '60s stuff and '70s stuff. But then later on, we started getting into kind of like I guess a little bit more experimental rock and like noise pop and shoegaze and stuff like that. So, obviously the Beatles are way up there, but then there's like My Bloody Valentine and Autolux and some current bands like Ulrich Basic are really influential. We really like that kind of a newer band, Spirit of the Beehive. I think those are some of the ones that we really share in common.
I'd say like the core of the band, me, Brandon, and Kaveen, we all share a mutual affinity for the Beatles. And I'd also say Elliott Smith, and you can hear like hints of their songwriting and their music and stuff. And yeah, we've bring in some more like psychedelic influences, and also like more modern stuff like Brandon was saying, all Chris Basic. There's another band called Holy Wave out of Texas that got a really great record in 2020. So there's a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah, as I was going through listening to some of y'all's stuff, one of the first songs I listened to was Temple of Sin, and that one's just so it kind of takes you on a trip, like not like not like a mushroom trip, but like a voyage. Like it's just that sort of whiny guitar hook. I love that sound. Do you feel like that kind of encapsulates who Dream Phases is?
Yeah, definitely. I think that the sound is definitely moving forward in a way that we're happy with, and it feels like a progression from the last record, and that's one of my favorite ones on the new album as well. I was really happy when that one came together, and it really to touch on your last question too about how the songs evolve and stuff. That's a good example of what in the past I would make like almost fully fleshed out demos that we would, go back and, really improve upon and have everybody kind of do things. But with a song like that, I remember I just did the vocal and acoustic guitar and like some like Mellotron sounds. And then we just totally built it up. Shane added the drums, Kaveen added all the electric guitar and the bass. And, it really came together where it felt like, wow, this is really a collaboration between the 3 of us.
And, one of the things I always look at on when I'm listening to bands that we're about to interview is I kind of look at what songs stick out on Spotify, and I noticed "Hell and Highway" is y'all's like most streamed song, and that was a single from 2020. What do you think the reason is for that being such a highly streamed song for y'all?
It's funny. I honestly don't know. Shane and I will probably have 2 different answers, but it's funny, we didn't do any sort of like PR campaign for that one or really any promotions. It's just random. It got on some like playlists and got more play. I when we did that single, so that was for a local label here called Hypnotic Bridge Records, which is run by a friend of ours named Stu Pope, and the label only does 7 inches. They don't do full albums or EPs or anything like that. And the whole point is to kind of try to make like classic psychedelic kind of like an A side, B side. So we definitely did kind of go in with the mindset of like, hey, we're gonna make a single with this. It's gonna be like, I was trying to envision what my friends would DJ, to make people dance and stuff at like local bars or whatever. So I'm not saying I accomplished that goal, but it was definitely with the idea of like a banger, like a single. So I don't know if maybe that was it, but otherwise I have no idea, man. I have no idea how this stuff works. And like there's songs we have where I'm like, oh, this is it. I love this song, and then like nobody listens to it, and then other songs you write and you feel like it's a throwaway, and then people are like, oh man, that one's great, so it's hard to judge your own work, and kind of know.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times you'll see like bands, y'all have done it, but like bands will release a single, but then it's on the album that comes out 3 months later.
Right.
But the single itself blows up.
Right.
But I thought that was interesting that it wasn't later on an album. So
right.
But yeah, let's take it. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, just that our friend's label, Hypnotic Bridge, it's very like stylized. He really wants to put out like psychedelic music. So we gave him like a list of songs, of demos and stuff, and he chose the one that he thought would be the best fit. And that ended up being Helen Highway. And yeah, I mean
the B side too, Tandy as well.
Oh, and Tandy, yeah. But yeah, that song is a banger. It's like under 2 minutes and 30 seconds. It's like crazy how much happens in that short amount of time. Yeah, we're really proud of that one.
Sure. Let's take it straight into our song Spotlight, which we chose In a Box for the song Spotlight this week. And basically just take us from beginning to end on that song, how it got created, how it got recorded, how it got mastered, what it's about, whatever you want to talk about.
Sure. So out of the whole new album, that is actually the oldest song. That was the only song that we actually had before the pandemic. Our last tour we did was it Shane, winter 2019 or fall? We went to Europe, and pretty shortly before the pandemic started, and that was the one new song that we brought with us from our batch. So that started life just as kind of what we used to do, where I would make like a whole demo and then send it to the guys, and we basically just started to rehearse it, played it live together on that tour. And when we came back, we were kind of debating about just putting that out as a standalone single, because we already kind of had it. But by the time we wrote all the other stuff and we were recording, it kind of just felt like it fit. So we ended up doing it that way. But yeah, we recorded it, and then did we do that one with Chris, Shane?
Yeah, that was one of the 3 that we did live.
Okay. So yeah, what we did then was we had a demo. We went and did a couple songs with our friend, where we recorded like the bass, drums, and guitar together. And then I think I did the vocals with our friend Chris as well. And we recorded those tracks live, except for the vocals, overdubbed them. And then I think there was probably a couple keyboard overdubs, a little percussion overdubs. And then from there, we gave it to Shane, and Shane mixed it with the other ones.
Yeah, I would say that song stayed pretty true to like the way we were playing it structurally. The only thing that kind of changed was the production and some of the sounds, kind of making it a little bit more synth heavy and more surfy with the guitar parts and stuff. And I wanted the recording to be a little bit more punchy too. Kind of have like a modern vintage vibe, but also like still kind of sound big and wide and
everything. Any story behind?
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Any story behind In a Box?
Yeah, so when that song was written, I was actually going through a pretty big dry spell with writing, and the song is actually about writer's block and getting over writer's block. And luckily that was the song that happened on, because I think there's a long period. I think there was like 3 or 4 months where I was just like not writing anything. So I was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna write about writer's block. And basically the chorus is just basically referencing that release you get when you make something new, which is like probably the best feeling that I get out of any kind of thing I do with music is like writing something new and then, listening to it and just being jazzed about that. So yeah, it's basically, I'm just like talking about kind of like a mental inner journey. I'm going to go into this box and I'm going to like stay here until I, come up with something, and I'll let you know when to like let me back out, because I finally did something. And each chorus, it's a little bit different because the choruses have slight variations on the lyrics on each one. Like it kind of starts off like a little uncertain and then a little better. Then finally there's the release where it's like, I feel all right. Okay. I've like, I released this. So yeah, that's literally what it is. It's about writer's block, getting over it.
That ended up being our favorite video too.
What's that?
Oh, I was saying that ended up being our favorite video too of the album.
Yeah, well, I'm actually I want to talk about that. Like, what ended up going into the concept and everything behind Box's video. Like, that's something that it was pretty unique. Somebody's climbing out of a box literally, and then you got the objects kind of in there. So, like, tell me more about the making and the creation there.
Yeah, so we collaborated with a good friend of ours named Matt Lingo. And he pretty much wrote the script for that and collaborated with Brandon on it. And then his other friend Styles was a cinematographer on that. He has a really good eye for that. So just that team together was like a really cool team to work with. So,
yeah. So it basically, as Shane mentioned, we were working with our friend Matt, who directed it, and he basically came up with a rough outline, and then him and I kind of fleshed it out, finished the writing of it, and then yeah, we basically just figured out different LA locations. We tried to find props that were referenced in the lyrics, and it was just really we're kind of trying to go almost for like a Bean John Malkovich kind of thing, where it's like I'd go into this box and it would take me to these different places where I'm constantly looking for my muse or looking for inspiration. And that's basically what it was. My girlfriend like painted the actual box, and then we got a bunch of props. We had a couple friends help us. We filmed at various locations around LA, and then ultimately at the end, it was like once we got to that final release, the band comes in and it kind of shows that we're together and we got the thing going now. So it's supposed to be kind of just like a little bit of a trippy adventure, I guess.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I saw you climbing out of that box. I was like, man, how did I get in there? I mean, literally, like, what's the? It looks like there was some good camera work or something. And it's actually one of the first videos I've seen that we've done for watching this show. But like, it says 4K in there, and it is 4K. Let's go.
Yeah.
We had the 4K camera. I mean, I love it. But
yeah,
the production was high.
Thanks, man. Yeah, that was fun. I wouldn't suggest doing the box thing. That was kind of a hassle. My knees definitely hurt. I barely was able to fit into that thing with it closed.
I like it. But yeah, I used to play around in boxes as a kid, so
yeah.
But I couldn't imagine getting one now.
That's funny.
Well, cool. Like, I mean, one of the other things that we always like to bring up on these, because you guys love to play live. I'm sure, like that's a lot of the artist's passion. So, like, what should I expect from a live show from Dream Phases, and like, whether it be in Europe or wherever you guys play, like, if I'm walking in for the first time, how do you want me to feel when I walk out?
Well, I think one of the things that we feel pretty strongly about is not necessarily being the same live as we are on the record. I don't think our work is like overproduced or anything like that, but I definitely think we kind of look at it a different way, where it's like we really like to overdub things and have a lot of different sounds and do a lot of layering. And I think live that is there, but I think we tend to be even a little more rocking live. The show is more not that there's more energy or things like that, but it's just a little more raw and rock and roll and sometimes in your face of an experience, I think. So we definitely like to get people moving. We like to rock out on stage. I would just say that that's sort of the experience that you'll have. And we also are really into having like light shows with our music, be it liquid lights or modern digital things. We really like the visual aspect. So I would say, yeah, there's somewhat of like a psychedelic visual, like rock and roll kind of thing with our live show.
Gotcha. Shane, you got some lights behind you. Are those some of those ones y'all use? Using the show right there.
Oh no, these are the ones I use when I shoot my drum videos.
Gotcha.
But yeah, we definitely like to have visuals behind us, and some of the longer songs like Temple of Sin, we wanted to take you on a journey. Maybe you kind of forget where you are and kind of get, transported somewhere else. So just feel good, have a drink or whatever, dance, just have a good time.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
sometimes there's like a bit more improv at times, like we might stretch something out or do some kind of complete like ambient kind of transition, or there's transitions to the songs that might not be there always live, the flow of it. So we kind of like the idea of having it different. I mean, we kind of feel like if it's going to be it's a hard you don't know where that coin's going to land for the audience, because people complain if it's not close enough, but then people also complain if it's too much exactly like it. So
right, yeah. I mean, you don't want it to feel like stale or over rehearsed. One of my favorite things about performing live is actually reacting to the audience. So I kind of never really play the same exact fill unless it's like a key fill of the song. I kind of react with my fills based on the audience. If there's high energy, then maybe I'll give a little bit more. If it's kind of mellow, then I'll keep it mellow. But I think that's one of the joys of performing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that like that for sure. What y'all are talking about with like y'all keeping it kind of you don't overlayer it when it's live. You want to keep it raw and keep it fresh, and have people have fun. I mean, like that's one of the best things about going to some of the show, because I can go somewhere, I can go listen to a CD, and I can hear it if it's overproduced. Like we can do that all day. I think I saw somebody at a festival one time, and I was like, if I close my eyes, I could be in my bedroom listening to this. So I think it's more fun when there's more. Just you never know what you're gonna get, and that's awesome. So, any particular like live places? You guys just said you've been to Europe. So, like, any like venues or like cool like places you've been that like are you just highly recommend, or like some of your favorites?
Yeah. I mean, there's a really cool venue we played in France called Supersonic. It had like a '90s club vibe, like really, I don't know, '90s. How would you describe it? It's kind of like a multi-levels place, like where people can stand up like in the balcony, like, and the stage is on the bottom level, and it had a cool atmosphere to it. But I mean, there's tons of them.
Yeah, there's a lot. San Francisco is a cool place called the Chapel. That was really fun to play. I'm trying to think.
We love playing the Echo and the Echoplex. It's always great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Harvard and Stone was like a main place that we
awesome festival.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Shane.
I was just going to say we played that awesome festival in the streets of Sweden, like Blank Tapes and a bunch of other bands. That was really cool.
Yeah.
As in Malmo.
We with this particular band, we played a ton at a place called Harvard and Stone here in LA, which was it's still there. It's like we did a residency right when we first started off. It's a smaller place, but it's a cool like rock and roll kind of late night vibe where there's a good like just foot traffic walking in. That was cool, and I don't know. There's so many cool clubs and people that you meet over the years that run different places. So usually they're better than not. Most places.
Yeah. That's cool. Like it's the second time we've heard France as like when we ask you about their journeys overseas. Like I've heard France is like an awesome place for live music, and it's not something that like we've.
One show that was really good on that last tour we did also was, forgive me for, I think it's called Elison, France, if I can remember correctly, but I'm sorry if I don't. But it was almost like an old castle or like a really, really old church or something. And I just remember, we weren't sure what to expect. And then it just turned out to be this like raging show where like everybody just lost their shit, and we're like just dancing like crazy. And I don't know, tour is just fun like that too, especially when you're going to new places that you haven't been and you just don't know what to expect night to night.
Yeah, I bet. Well, that's awesome. Well, we'll get kind of into going to get into the back half here with little Pete Peterson party pack questions, transitioning off a tour, and we'll talk more about some food that you probably eat a lot along the way, but also some preferences. So really the strategy will be this or that. We'll go Shane and then Brandon, and that way you guys got that structure. So we'll try to go quick. Pete Peterson's party pack of questions, 20 questions right in a row, this or that.
Okay.
Alive or dead, quick answer. Here we go. Question 1, cake or pie?
Pie.
Pie.
All right. Candy corn or candy pumpkins?
I guess candy corn.
I'd say candy corn.
Yeah, best of the worst there. Red wine or white wine? Red wine or white wine?
That's tough. I guess overall red, but I do like white.
Easy for me, red wine.
Red wine all day. All right. Donuts or bagels?
Donuts.
That's a hard one, but I'll say bagels.
Okay. All right. Like a little schmear. I like it. Tenders or wings?
Wings for sure.
I'm gonna say tenders.
Okay. All right. Got a tendies guy, got a wing guy. All right. Ranch or blue cheese on those tendies or wings?
Ranch.
Blue cheese.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Ninja or pirate? What would you rather be?
Oof.
Probably ninja.
I'd probably want to be a ninja, but I'm certainly more of a pirate.
All right. Why's the rum always gone? I like it.
Yeah, you love that rum. The tiki
rum
right
here.
I like it. Toast or raisin toast? This is kind of a Southern specialty, but like toast or raisin toast?
Toast.
I'll take the raisin toast if I got it.
Okay. All right. Are aliens real?
Sure. Yes.
I think so. In some way,
Gotcha. Bigfoot. Is that guy real?
No.
No.
We're out on Bigfoot. All right.
Maybe.
Is love at first sight real?
I don't know. Maybe.
I'll say yes.
Okay. All right. Salad or soup?
Oh, I've always been more of a salad guy, so I'll say salad.
Soup
love
without a
soup.
doubt.
Soup without a doubt. All right. Circus peanuts. They're these orange peanuts that you can find at the gas station. You guys ever heard of those? And do you like them?
Circus? I don't know what those are.
What does the bag look like?
It's like a circus peanut. It's like a big orange peanut.
I
And
don't think so. Darn. I like
I guess we
peanuts
have
too, so.
they don't taste anything like peanuts. They're marshmallows and they taste like bananas. It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, kind of a weird question. It's more of like, are you guys serial killers like me? Because I love them myself. So, coffee or tea?
Ooh, I was more of a tea guy, but I do like coffee, so I'm gonna say coffee.
Yeah, coffee for me as well.
All right. Get a little cup of Joe. All right. With the cup of Joe, you're going to have a waffle or a pancake?
Ooh,
I'll play waffle.
I'll go with the waffle.
All right. Night in or night out? What would you rather have right now?
Sorry, say that again?
A night in or a night out? What would you rather have?
For tonight?
Not tonight, but like any night in general.
I say night in most of the time.
That's a tough one. I'm like right down the line with that. Some nights it's just like I gotta stay in, other nights I gotta go out.
Yeah, same.
I'll just say night out.
We pick the nights that we want to go out when there's something cool going on.
Okay, you guys are event-based go-outers. It's not a lifestyle. It's not a gotta go out. I like it.
Fair enough nowadays. Yeah. That's pretty true.
Are robots going to take over the world or what?
Or what?
Are robots going to take over the world?
Yes. AI technology for sure. Eventually.
Gotcha. All right. Eventually. All right. When you guys walk into a party and your jam comes on, are you more likely to do the robot or the worm?
Oh man. I don't know, neither.
I would do the robot probably. I less likely I'll hit the floor, I would say.
Like
Depends on what time of the party it is, I guess, you know.
What song is for the worm? Sticks Renegade would be for the robot, right? Something.
Yeah, Mr. Roboto. I mean, there's a lot
Mr.
of
Roboto.
Well, all right. You guys both live in beautiful LA. I'm sure you guys get these all the time, but would you rather have a LA sunset or an LA sunrise?
I'd say sunset. I don't ever see the sunrise.
I'd say sunset too. Yeah.
Sunset.
Sunrise just makes me realize I need to go to bed.
On those nights out that you have, that's right. I like it.
I'm a night owl anyway, so you know I easily just stay up all night. So I have to remind myself, go get to bed, and that's the last thing I want to see is the sun rising.
I was like that too for like 10 years, and now I'm like forcing myself to wake up before 9 a.m.
Yeah.
All right. Final question of Pete Peterson's Party Pack questions. You guys have done awesome. What are some bands that we might not know? Just give us two, one each. What are some bands that we might not know that we ought to check out? Similar to how Livingmore got you guys on our radar.
Oh, Young Creatures.
Young Creatures.
Those are our good friends.
And I'd say our other friends, Communicant.
Oh yeah, Communicant, great.
Who just recently played our album release show, and they also have a really good 7-inch on the Hypnotic Bridge records as well. I just give you one more too. Timothy Erie, who's actually closer to you guys. He's in Florida, based out of Orlando, and he also has a really good 7-inch that came out on Hypnotic Bridge, and has a record out on the Nomad Eel records that we're with Livingmore.
Beautiful. We will have to check out Young Creatures, Communicant, Timothy Erie. Tash, I'm going to toss it back to you for the wrap up here.
Well, Brandon, Shane, it's been a pleasure having y'all on, and y'all are brothers. Y'all enjoy being in a band together?
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Hell yeah. Well, Grant and I would love to be able to see y'all, and maybe we got to get some Delta tickets out to beautiful Los Angeles to come see y'all play.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everyone that's listening, go check out their new album, New Distractions. It's out everywhere. Listen to their other stuff too. Great albums. And listen to Hell and Highway. Great single. But yeah, once again, thank y'all for coming on, and hopefully we can see y'all soon.
Absolutely. Thank you guys.
Woo.
Take care.
Take care.